Yo guys, what's up? It's your typical it's your boy typical TJ here with a stream that has been requested. I know I could have done this as a video, but I'm preferring to do it as a stream. And what we are going to be talking about in today's stream is ghosts. Yes, obviously because we are playing Phasmophobia before anyone says anything. But we're not just going to be ghost hunting, like we're going to be explaining. So now, as you can see, if you look onto the evidence, you have a bunch of ghosts. There are 24 ghosts in this game, and all of them have one of the three evidence. Now, in today's video, what I'm going to be talking to you all about is the fact that some of these ghosts have hidden abilities that you may not know about. Some of these ghosts might be confusing for some of you. And basically, I'm explaining basically what most ghosts are. So, okay, right. Without further ado, let's talk about them. Okay, so we got first ghost. We got spirit. All right. So now a spirit is a basic ghost. It has the evidence EMF level 5, spirit box, ghost writing. This ghost does not have any forced evidence if you are playing on nightmare difficulty or insanity. So spirits have no strength, but they have a weakness, and their weakness is if you smudge the ghost, it will have a period where it cannot hunt for 3 minutes, so 180 seconds. So as soon as you go in, let's just say you get a hunt, you smudge the ghost, the timer starts as soon as you have smudged that ghost. And then if it doesn't hunt for a period of 180 seconds for 3 minutes, then you know, oh, the spirits. So then you can go into your, and then you circle spirit. That is all that spirit is. There's no hidden ability for a spirit. The spirit is not a special ghost in any way. Now, wraith. Now, the wraith is an interesting ghost, and I think quite an easy ghost to get. So what a wraith does, obviously it has EMF level 5, it has spirit box, and it has dots projector. Now this ghost will avoid salt at all costs. So let's just say you've got a salt all around you, the ghost will not step in it. And the way you can test this is by having a dots projector, a motion sensor, and if you see the ghost and then put the salt underneath it or anywhere on the dots depending on what the dots you're using, and if you see it come towards, if you see it like go over the salt but doesn't step in it, then you know, oh, it's a wraith, because a wraith will not be in. Now the thing about a wraith is it can teleport to your location roughly. So for instance, let's just say it's a kitchen ghost on Candlewood and you're in the garage and it somehow is in the garage with you. That could be a sign. It could be a wraith. A wraith can literally follow you around the map. So that is basically a wraith. Okay, a phantom. So a phantom has the evidence spirit box, ultraviolet, and dots. Also, it's another ghost that doesn't have a forced evidence, no matter what difficulty you're playing on. So now with the phantom, for instance, let's just say it's doing a ghost event, it's doing dots. If you are looking at the ghost, your sanity, as you can see, will drop faster. That strength means basically what you're doing is if you're looking at the ghost, you're going to be losing more sanity than you would be if you didn't look at a ghost. So it's not really a way to tell that it's a phantom. One way to tell that it is a phantom is if you take a ghost photo, the ghost photo will be, there will be no ghost in the photo and it will be a clear photo. For instance, let's just say we took a picture of this. If it wasn't a phantom, it'd be blurry, and then let's just pretend the ghost is in the middle of the screen, then we know it's not. But if it's clear and no ghost and it says 3-star ghost photo, then you know, oh, it's a phantom. Now another way to test for a phantom is during a hunt. When it hunts, this ghost will blink. I believe it is less than usual. I don't know if that's phantom or but only. One of them blinks more than usual, one of them blinks less than usual. I'm not 100% sure between them two. So, yes, I believe though it blinks less often, I believe. Poltergeist. Now, a poltergeist has the evidence spirit box, ultraviolet, and ghost writing. Also, another ghost that has no forced evidence. A lot of these ghosts have no forced evidences. Alright, so now the poltergeist can. A way to tell the poltergeist is one, you can do a polterpile. If you don't know what a polterpile is, during a hunt, you just put a load of items near you, and basically everything on that thing, or near enough everything, will be thrown around the room. A poltergeist will do big throws if it's like, for instance, if it's interacting with something and does like a big, massive throw really across the room. Doesn't necessarily mean poltergeist, but it means it could be a poltergeist, because sometimes some other ghosts can throw things quite far. But basically, that's what poltergeist will do. It will throw items really far, and during a hunt, it's easy to test because it's just throwing everything around it. That's basically a poltergeist. Now, a banshee. This is an interesting ghost. This is my most common ghost. What a banshee does, it has ultraviolet, ghost orb, and dots projector. Now, a banshee, if you're playing single player, you don't need to be too worried, but you still want to be aware. In multiplayer, though, a banshee will target one of their 4 players in the lobby. For instance, let's just say, you've got a banshee, and you know it's targeting your friend, it's not targeting you. A good way to tell a banshee is have a motion sensor with you in a different room, and you can test if it keeps coming towards your location, then you know it's a banshee, because a banshee will keep going for coming towards you. Now, with the weakness with the banshee, can sometimes be heard screaming into a parabolic mic. So a banshee will give you a scream in the parabolic microphone. I would not worry, like, it might take, and then I've heard the banshee scream. So that's basically what a banshee does. So if you are playing multiplayer, there's 4 of you, and the banshee is not targeting you, and you know it's not targeting you, it will only go for the person you target. So you can walk through the ghost, you can chase around with the ghost, but if the person that is the banshee's target dies, then it will target someone new. Or if the banshee's target is not inside the house, it will choose someone random. Or if you're the only one in the house, it will choose you. Moving on to a djinn. It's EMF level 5, ultraviolet, and freezing temperatures for a djinn. Now, a djinn has a hidden, well, I wouldn't say hidden ability, but a djinn will never turn off the breaker. So what that means is, if you've got the breaker on, whether it be in the garage, the basement, or wherever it is, and it's on, you've turned it on, and you're running around the house, it's turned it off, you can rule off djinn immediately, because a djinn will never turn off the breaker, because it likes to have light as a source and power as a source. Okay, looking at the djinn's strength, a djinn will travel at a faster speed if the victim is far away, so it means the further you are away from the ghost, also can hunt you at really low sanity, like really high sanity, like 80% sanity. As soon as you drop that mark, it can hunt you, which is a really good way to know for a demon, but is why you've also got to be very careful. And a demon will constantly try to hunt you. So for instance, let's just say it's in the living room, you've got a crucifix in the living room, you're below 80% sanity, it's hunted, let's give it like 8 seconds, instantly hunts again. So that just proves that it's going to be a demon. Doesn't mean it isn't necessarily a demon, it just means that it could be a demon because it's hunting constantly. The weakness, demons fear the crucifix and will be less aggressive near one, means now the range of the crucifix for a demon is significantly higher. So it means it's going to be more than the thingy, but I don't think you see that. And means it'll be less aggressive near one, means it won't constantly hunt. A Yurei, Oh, and a demon actually has the least amount of smudge stick time, which is a minute. So if you hit a minute and the ghost decides to hunt straight after, you know it's a demon, because all the rest of the ghosts have normal smudging time. A spirit has 3 minutes smudging time, and a demon has 1 minute smudging time. So it's also another good way to know if it's a demon. Now, a Yurei. A Yurei is a very annoying ghost. So a Yurei has been known to have a stronger effect on people's sanity, means a Yurei will take more sanity than usual. Ghost orbs, for the evidence, is freezing, temps, and dots. The stream still going? Yep. Reducing this Yurei's place of death will trap it temporarily, reducing how much it wanders. See, I don't know if that's actually a thing, but if it is, that means what you means if you smudge the Yurei, smudge the Yurei's room, it will trap it temporarily, which is kind of interesting to know. Now, a Yurei does have a hidden ability. If it slams the door shut or double touches the same door, then you can instantly know it's a Yurei, because a Yurei can slam the door or as you also may know, double touch the door. So if you leave all the doors around the ghost room open, and you just randomly either hear a ghost door slam or you hear something being touched twice and you check with an EMF reader, it's the same door. Doesn't necessarily mean if you know it's slammed shut, then you know it's a Yurei. But if it's double touched, it could also mean the twin interaction on the door. But for our sake, we can say it might be a Yurei. Never, if it double touches the door, unless you know the door is fully shut, I wouldn't 100% say it's a Yurei. And only. Now, an Oni's evidence is EMF level 5, freezing, and dots. An Oni's loves to scare us much before attacking. So basically, what this means, a Oni is much more active whilst people are nearby and will drain their sanity faster when manifesting. So basically, an Onis are really active, but they're the opposite to a Shade. They're like really active. And oh, so yeah, see, look here. Onis disappear left often while hunting their prey, so that means that blinks less. So it means a phantom blinks more. That's good to know that we've just saw that there. So yeah, that's what Oh, and only a good way to test an Oni, it can never do a ghost ball airball event, ghost event. So if you see an airball come towards you like a white grey orb and it hits you and you hear a noise, you know it's not an Oni, and you cross that off instantly, because an Oni can never do a ghost airball event. Going on to a yokai. Yokai's evidence is spirit box, ghost orb, dots, projector. And basically what that means is a yokai will get angry when you talk next to it. So for instance, you're in the ghost room and you're talking constantly, and let's just say you're at 60% sanity, the ghost will try to hunt you because you've annoyed it so much by your talking, and it will hunt. When hunting, a yokai can only hear voices close to it. So for instance, that means if you're far away from the ghost room, let's just say the ghost is in the nursery, you're in the dining room. I'm just giving you a range here. I'm giving you Tanglewood things, and you're talking means if it's in the nursery still and you're talking, if it roams straight to your location, you know it's not a yokai. But if you go near it and you're talking, then you know it's a yokai. So a yokai can only hear voices near it or like close to it. That's a good way to know for a yokai. Yokai also has no forced evidence. None of them ghosts have forced evidence. Now, a Huntu, this is where the first forced evidence comes into play, whether you're playing Nightmare or Insanity. So, a Huntu is guaranteed freezing temperature. So, as you see the evidence, ultraviolet, ghost, or freezing. So, a Huntu has to have guaranteed freezing. So, if you're playing Nightmare, freezing has to be one of the two. If you're playing Insanity, then it has to be the one evidence you get, or you can rule off Huntu. Now, a good way to test for a Huntu. Now, a Huntu, it doesn't have a hidden ability, but there's quite easy ways to tell if it's a Huntu. So, a Huntu will be the hunter in the Huntu in the ghost room will be, so the ghost will be the opposite to a revenant. So, a Huntu will be fast at the start of the hunt because it's in its ghost room, and then as it's coming out the ghost room, it will get slower. Another way to do that is looping the ghost. If the ghost never speeds up, then you know it's a Huntu, because the Huntus are the ghosts that can't speed up. They just stay the normal speed unless you enter the really cold room, and it gets faster. And if you have the breaker off, a Huntu will show freezing breath. So you can see the frozen breath come from the ghost if you have the breaker off for a Huntu. That is really crucial information to remember, and would recommend it. Okay, moving on to Goryo. Goryo is another ghost that has forced evidence. A ghost forced evidence is Dot's projector if you're playing Insanity or Nightmare. When a ghost Goryo passes through a Dot's projector using a video cam, it is the only way to see it. So basically what that means is Goryo dots cannot be seen with the regular dots. You have to put the dots down, look through the video camera, and you can only see a Goryo dots through a video camera. So if you see dots normally, then you can instantly rule off Goryo, because dots can only be seen through a video camera, which is really useful to know. And a Goryo will not roam too far. So for instance, I'm going to use the same thing. Let's just say it's in the bathroom at the start of the Tanglewood map. It will not roam all the way to the kitchen. It will rarely go that far out. So that's a good way to test for a Goryo. Now a Myelin has no forced evidence. It is EMF level 5, ultraviolet, and ghost writing. Now a Myelin is an active ghost. So the thing with a Myelin, if it's hunting, this is a good way to test. If you have your flashlight on and you hear footsteps, then you know it's not going to be a Myelin, because a Myelin's footsteps will be really quiet, or you won't be able to hear them. But when they're close to you, it will sound regular, which is kind of nice to know. Now with a Myelin, with a parabolic mic, you will hear more whispers. So let's just say you get 5 whispers in a minute. That's happened. But let's just say if you get like constant Myelin like whispers, like 25 seconds for every one, then you know it's going to be most likely a Myelin. But you could also get a hunt to test it. Now an Onryo has evidence, spirit box, ghost orb, and freezing temperatures. Now with an Onryo, you can do an Onryo test. If you don't know what an Onryo test is, you have the lights. If it blows out 3 candles, it has a chance to attack. So for instance, let's just say it does a Yurei Onryo event, blows out 3 candles, and it hunts. Then you know instantly that it's an Onryo. This ghost will not. So, and another way to test for an Onryo is if there's candles around, or firelights as they like to call them in this game, you have one on and underneath you have a crucifix. If it uses the crucifix without blowing out that candle, you can rule off Onryo, because an Onryo will blow out the candle, then try to hunt. So basically for an Onryo, the candles will act as a crucifix. So that is a really good thing to remember, but there's nothing really special about the ghost. Now the twins, I love this ghost. Now the twin evidence is EMF level 5, spirit box, and freezing temperature. Right, so which the twins can do. The twin has an ability which means it can do a twin interaction. For instance, it can do one thing in the ghost room and instantly do something else in another room, which means it can be the twins. It could also be a mimic, but it means it could be a twin. That it could be a twin interaction. So that's what I mean. So with a twin, now good thing to know for a hunt. There's one twin that's a little bit faster, and there's a twin that's a little bit slower. So for instance, let's just say one hunt, you get you think it's a faster ghost than usual, so you're instantly thinking, it's not going to be this, that. You can cross off all the normal speed ghosts or slow, but then you get another hunt and it's slower. So you means it could be twins, it could be a mimic, but that's what I mean. Twins, there's 2. So this twin strength is either twin can be angered and initiate an attack on their prey, which means basically either twin you can get either twin to hunt. It can be the faster one, or it can be the slow one. The twins will often interact with the environment at the same time, which means what I just basically said, a twin interaction, which means it does 2 interactions at the same time, which is kind of nice. Now a Raichu has an evidence, EMF level 5, ghost orb and dot projector. Basically what that means is what Raichu does means the Raichu can siphon power from the nearby electrical devices. I mean, if a Raichu near electronics, it will make it faster, and the range of a Raichu can actually be quite far. Whether this ranges from you having a flashlight, even if you've got a headgear on your head, that could make it faster because it's an electronic. So it means a Raichu will be faster because it's siphoning that it's taking power from your electronics. So with the weakness, Raichu are constantly disrupting electronic equipment when attacking, making it easier to track. For instance, let's just say you have a flashlight in the garage and it's in the nursery. The range of a normal ghost is not as big, whereas a Raichu, it might actually trigger it from the nursery, which means it could be a Raichu, and you also can tell because it speeds up. So an Abuke, actually my favourite one of my favourite ghosts, one of them. It has evidence, EMF 5, level 5, ultraviolet ghost orb. An Abuke has forced fingerprints, which is UV. So if you see UV, you know that it can be an Abuke. If you don't get fingerprints from your 2 evidence or even your 1, then you know it's not an Abuke. Now, an Abuke is an interesting ghost. So an Abuke will always leave fingerprints. During a hunt, an Abuke can shapeshift. Abuke will shapeshift once. So for instance, let's just say it's turned in from a granny to a naked man, then you know for a fact it's an Abuke because an Abuke can shapeshift. Now, another thing with an Abuke, which is an Abuke ability, is sometimes if it touches a door, it can leave 6 fingerprints instead of 5. There are no 6 toes. I know someone said to me, "Oh, they can get 6 toes." No, they cannot. Don't let that fool you. It can only give you 6 fingerprints. It's quite obvious when it's an Abuke. So a strength, when interacting with the environment, Abuke will rarely leave a trace, which means what this basically means is 1 minute the ghost can touch a door. If you're playing on professional, it leaves the handprint for a while, and Abuke can remove the handprint like that. So basically, you see the handprint, you're about to take a picture, and it just disappears. Then you know, oh, it's an Abuke because it's given you fingerprints and it's just disappeared. So that's another good way to know it's an Abuke. So Abuke has many different ways to come about it. A mimic. Now, a mimic evidence is spirit box, UV, freezing temperature. Now, the mimic is a crucial ghost to know because you can always get this wrong. So a mimic mimics another ghost, whether it be a banshee, djinn, twins, myling. So with a mimic, there will always be orbs. So if you go in, you're like, oh, I see orbs. Do not mark it down as an evidence, or do, but keep mimic as an option because mimic has orbs. Even though it's not an evidence, it's guaranteed orbs. So what the mimic basically does is it mimics another ghost during a hunt, and each hunt it will change. For instance, let's just say, oh, the mimic's going to be a Dio. It starts off with a Dio, so it's fast and it's slow when it sees you or gets close to you. Then it will change to a Revenant where it starts with this next hunt really slow and then it just speeds up really quick. So be careful. The mimic can mimic a banshee scream. It can mimic the Unreal ability. It can mimic anything. So if you hear a banshee scream, don't just say, oh yeah, it's a banshee. Just double check to see if there's orbs, as unfortunately banshee does have ghost orb. So, but a mimic can mimic stuff like that. So just watch yourself with a mimic. It's a tricky and very weird ghost. Now, a Moroi evidence is spirit box, ghost right and freezing temperatures, and a Moroi has spirit box forced evidence. So what a Moroi does, basically, when you talk into a spirit box, it will put a Moroi curse on you. So it means no matter what, if you're in the light, on the dark, if you're in the light, or it will drain your sanity. So for instance, let's just say you're at 80% sanity, you're in the light, you've spoke on the spirit box, you've got the spirit box response, you're in the light the entire time, you go back to the car, fan and you're at 60% sanity, you know, oh, you've been Mori cursed. Now the way to get rid of a Mori curse is to take a sanity pill. Now the thing about a Moroi is, the lower your sanity, the faster it is. So for instance, if it's above 50% sanity, it's going to be slow, but if you're at 0% sanity, it's going to be really fast. So basically, don't ever get rid of a Moroi. And if you're playing multiplayer, it goes off team sanity, not just yours. So don't think, oh, I'm at 0% sanity, I'm going into a house. We know it's a Moroi. Oh, it's good and it's slow. Don't expect it. Hello, Landon L. Welcome in. I'm just giving the briefing of the ghosts before we are going to play Phasmophobia. Now, Diogen, which is actually one of the most interesting ghosts in the game and one of the most easiest to identify. It has evidence, spirit box, goes right in dots. This also has forced spirit box. Now, a Dio, basically, no matter what, you cannot run from a Dio. So a Dio will find you no matter where you are. So if you're hiding from a Dio during a hunt, you're screwed. You're basically as good as dead. So what a Dio does is, at the farther away it is, it'll be fast, and as soon as it gets close to you, it slows down. And when I mean it's slow, I mean it is slowest ghost. It will blink really slowly, it will come towards you really slowly, and basically you could just loop it around. And the Dio is one of the most easiest. Now the Dio does have a spirit box rare thing that it can do in the spirit box, which also means, you know, so if you hear a weird sound in the spirit box, that's not the ghost talking, then you might have got a Dio. So that's good to know. Strength, Dio constantly senses the living. You can run but you can't hide, which is basically what I just said. During a hunt, it will find you no matter where you are. Dio requires a lot of energy to form and will move very slowly when approaching its victim, meaning basically when it gets close to you, it will be slower. And last but not least, the Fae. Now, the Fae is by far the fastest ghost in this entire game. So, one thing to know about a Fae is that, yeah, this is a lot of people's most deaths. The evidence is Ghost Orb, Ghost Right in dots. Over time, a Fae will slow down, get weaker, as you can see as a weakness. So, one way to test a Fae, if you have Luigi board, or Luigi board, however people say it, I like to say Luigi board, is at the start of the game, ask how old it is. Let's just say, oh, it said it's 24. So it's 24. You've done 10 minutes. Let's just say, oh, you've got a Ghost Orb, you've got Ghost Right in, and you're like, okay, what ghost can this be? And you can go back to the board later on. I'd say give it 5-10 minutes and ask the ghost again, and the ghost might end up saying 36. So that means you have a Fae. A Fae will age. So the Fae is the only ghost that can get older. So if you get an early hunt with a Fae, it's super, super fast. But let's just say you're 15 minutes in and it's like 60 years old. It's slow. It's going to be really slow. With a Fae, though, you will, upon entering the location, they will become active, defensive and agile, but it just basically means it doesn't going to be a very more active ghost, and it doesn't like the fact that you're in the house. So basically the Fae shouldn't really be too afraid of it. But the one thing I have learned from playing this game is always have a smudge stick and a lighter within the location. Now the one thing I will say to you all, if you are new ghost hunting, do not play high difficulty, and do not use the tier 3. Yeah, I know. Do not use the tier 3 smudge sticks. Now the reason I say that is the tier 3 smudge sticks are useful, but they're not. Like, there's certain evidence on this game. Alright, what I'm going to do is show. So some of this evidence, what I would suggest you use, I know this is not part of the video, but I'm going to stream, but I'm going to do it. So for instance, salt, I wouldn't use the tier 3 salt. Now reason being is it slows down the ghost, and you really don't want to be slowing down the ghost, because it's just going to make it faster. So I always use tier 2 salt. And I swear, I think this is just me, but I swear when you use tier 3 salt, you're less likely to get footprints. Now, tier 3 salt, smudges, reason I don't like this, you can ward off ghost much more safely when attacked. When the ghost is initially repelled, it will be stunned, halting its movement for a short period. I would not use this purely the fact that it stuns the ghost in place. And what I would rather do is use a smudge stick. Then the ghost will not be stunned, but the ghost will move. So I will always use tier 2 smudge sticks or tier 1, because then when you smudge it, it has a chance of going running further away from you, but it also has a chance of running closer to you. Basically, yeah. I like to use tier 1 thermo because at the moment it is still overpowered, which means the temperatures will drop a lot quicker, whereas this could take forever to get freezing. Now, apparently with a tier 3 thermo, which I didn't actually know was a thing, is if it goes below 1%, it's guaranteed to be freezing. I did not know that. Whereas on the tier 1, it has to go below 0, because there's Borderlands 0. And with the UV light, I always use tier 1 because it's just a lot easier. Whereas tier 3, you've got to hold. Tier 1, you don't have to actually hold, you just place it down, and it has a long range. Yes, now and again you have to shake it, but that is how it is. If I have forgotten to mention anything, guys and girls, please do let me know in the comments below. I might have not covered everything, but I've covered everything of my knowledge. So I appreciate you all watching. If you're in the stream, I will be streaming within like another 2 minutes, actually ghost hunting for you. I just wanted to get that video out of the way,